Okay, we should be back up and running. My apologies, people. That was a relatively large crash, and I'm still trying to figure it out because I'm running both Elgato and the streaming software. So I have had to reload both of them, and Elgato takes forever to reload. I apologize. So if it ever crashes like that, I'm not going to just leave it like that. I am gonna come back and at least say goodbye to you guys. So don't ever think that that's a normal occurrence. Unfortunately, the driver crashed. Now, I'm not quite sure which one of these is the one I want to open here. So we'll go ahead and see. It's taken a while, so that, yep, first try. So this is another project that I was working on before. This is the last thing I was working on before I went into Nerf. And this is called, well, you can see that there's so many polygons. When I go to move it around, it's unloading some of the stuff so it can even do it. This is Treads Upon Stars, and this is from Destiny as well. Kind of ignoring, yeah, XSplit, meow. Sorry, kind of ignoring the chat. It's been a while since I've done this. Hey Seeker, what's going on? Hey everybody. If I didn't say hey to you, I'm still trying to figure this out because it's kind of a new thing. So, Elgato to capture my image here on the screen. So, these are all individual components. So I can hide individual things. So basically I went back and forth between reference pictures and this, which is the actual model ripped out of the game. But as you can see, there is virtually no detail to it because all of the detail is going to be from the actual texture. And so all of this stuff is illusions in the game. And so I had to come back in here and actually add the detail. And of course, all of these things are individualized. Now you can see I didn't work on the internals at all. So I have even the bolt slide right here. But yeah. So this is probably a good 180 hours somewhere along those lines. And then come back over here to just gonna kind of show off some of the stuff that I've done before we get into it. Really good to be back. Yeah, it's good to be back. Will this be like Glass Construct streams or one-time occasion? It's not going to be as often as Glass Construct. Glass Construct, I was like, I really, really want to finish this like right this very second. So it's not going to be like that. It's going to be every once in a while. But while I'm working on it, I figured I might as well. Now, what was I looking for? I completely... Oh, here we go. I have a lot of different options here. This one? I have so many files under these things. There we go. So this one doesn't look like much, but this was my first model that I attempted. This is a Colt Patterson, and this was a bit of a job just because I was trying to replicate a real-life firearm and take real-life measurements. Now, what's so special about this and why this took a total of 300 hours, even though it doesn't look like anything special, is the fact that if I come in here and hide that, I've figured out the entire clockwork mechanism. This is a spring right here, and in theory this would all be functional if I had this printed. It'd have to be quite a high resolution, but it took me a very, very long time to figure out how this works because there's no real good pictures of the inside, so I kind of had to look at some half-assed patents and I eventually figured it out. It just kind of clicked one day, after weeks and weeks and weeks of research. But it's a very interesting design. Basically, you pull back the hammer, and the entire trigger right here comes down. So you can actually pull the trigger and then fire the hammer, which is kind of cool. So you have everything like the locating pin, that's right here, and then the actual rotating mechanism right here, and there's a gear train back here. And even some things like where the actual screws go in to secure these different parts was actually a bit of a challenge. It's kind of weird because one of them goes upwards and diagonally, a screw goes in here, and then another one goes straight up. So it's kind of weird that how that's done, but so yeah, Colt Patterson. Then back here I made the spring out of polycarbonate, but so anyway, you guys probably aren't interested in that at all, but I wanted to show it off just a teensy bit. And so we're going to come in here and get our DOGMA going. So this is the Chaos DOGMA. And again, it's the exact same thing that I did with that other Destiny firearm. I imported the STL files directly from the video game, which is what these things are back here. And then I use that as a framework to judge the rest of this. And as you can see back here, for instance, there's absolutely no detail right here because that's all in-game. That's from the texture, the skin that they place over that. So obviously that's no good. But if we drag this over, we can see that that lines up with everything perfectly, and of course that took a long ass time to do. We have some minor modifications down here. Just trying to catch everyone up. Whoa. See, oh, you'll run into lag spikes every now and again from this because it's trying to do too much. But you can see there's some minor modification right here and right here, and that's obviously to accept the magazine. And we got some other modifications in other key locations, such as up here. It's actually much thinner in this region, but I kept the basic design and just kind of blew up this cylinder a little bit to give me a little more room on the inside. And obviously this piece is sticking out here, but luckily this is actually okay because this is a frame piece and it's kind of meant to be halfway uncovered. There's actually a whole nother cover piece that fits over this thing that the Chaos DOGMA simply doesn't have. And there's actually a whole nother sleeve bit that goes on this side. This is all meant to be like framework and stuff, so it's kind of like a quote-unquote unfinished gun or whatever, which is kind of cool. How did you import it from the game? If you look up STL generator Destiny, you can easily find it. You can pull out anything from that. Sorry, I'm completely ignoring the chat, guys. I apologize. If I missed anything, just tag me, and hopefully it'll catch my eye. Is that the one from Wrath of the Machine Raid? Yeah, it is. This is probably the biggest modification that I've done. Right here, you can actually see that it comes over here, slopes down, and then goes right here, and then comes up here. If you actually notice, that's going to be really uncomfortable. You see how that sticks out there? That's going to be very, very uncomfortable. So what I did instead was I curved it upwards and finished it that way. And also this selecting mechanism right here, it's kind of facing sideways, which is kind of weird. It's facing straight down. Normally that would be facing this way. So I'm probably going to end up doing that, just turning this 90 degrees, but we shall see, because that seems like it'd be in the way. But it's little things like that. So that's for comfort. This is for function. It's little tweaks like that. But this panel is completely separate from the rest of this. So we'll move that out of the way again. I like the minimalist nature of the unfinished Omlon weapons. Yeah, I don't actually like the Omlon rifles with the covers on. It kind of looks dorky to me. But so let's try to unpiece it. And you can see that I haven't finished this barrel piece. I'm still actually working on this, but there's no mechanics in here, so I've kind of taken a break from that to go to the mechanics. Not exactly center, but that's okay. And let's start removing some of these so you guys can see how this works. So, how can I join the Discord? I'm not looking at the Discord, but it's Wacom's Discord, so if you go to any one of his videos and click on the description, there'll be an invite to his Discord server. What else do you have to do other than the barrel? Aesthetically wise, I still have the cylinder that goes up here. It's a cracked cylinder. It's a cracked cylinder that holds the Siva node. And I can pull up a picture here real quick. Projects, Nerf, blasters, DOGMA, reference. If we bring up this picture, you can see the canister back here, and then the little Siva node right here, which I already have. I already had 3D printed on Shapeways, and I've already cast up. So I actually already have this node, and then all of these wires are going to be EL wire covered in cable braiding. I'm not sure if I'm going to have quite this many, because I think the wires I have are a little bit thicker, but I will make it aesthetically the same so that it is virtually the same. And then obviously you can see the texture here is what's it called? Carbon fiber, so I'll probably end up dipping this to get that texture that I want. So all of this design is original. I had to figure out the mechanics basically by myself. The actual logic behind this circuit is nothing new. I say circuit. I'm used to flywheel blasters. The actual logic behind this pathways and stuff are not new. I'm sure Liam Davis didn't come up with it, but Liam Davis was the one that I figured it out from. I tried asking for help from him, and I didn't want to bother him, but he was kind of answering like yes, no questions only. So I kind of stared at the pictures of his blasters until one day it clicked, and that took about a week. So I'm kind of proud that I figured it out by myself. Figured out someone else's work by myself, because this is kind of complicated. But this whole layout is originally my design. If someone else is doing this like this, I didn't look at it. I just kind of did it on my own. Yes, I have vinyl adhesive backed logos for the Omlon logo, as well as the red logo on the side, right about here. Streams are back. My life is meaning again. I wanted to use like a retaliator bolt sled or something to simplify my life, but of course that was never going to work. So I had to make a custom bolt sled. Still have no idea how I'm going to make this bolt sled. It's separate from this piece right here, which is going to be attached to the actual barrel, and this is a floating barrel design, which basically means the entire barrel is going to move back and forth. There's going to be a faux barrel on the outside of this, which ironically fits. The perfect fit is actually Nerf faux barrel, and then on the inside is going to be the inner barrel, and that's going to float back and forth. So when I pull the trigger, this is your air inlet. Why is it backing up? This is your air inlet. I have a valve here going to up here, which is essentially a small QEV, which is a quick exhaust valve. Not going to get too much into this, so if you don't understand, you might not fully understand what's going on. But basically, I pull the trigger. It's going to fill up this cylinder. It's going to retract the cylinder. It's going to close the bolt over the dart and lock it into here, which is the tank and the firing QEV. And that is going to, this little bit right here is going to ram into the firing pin, which is going to go all the way back here, hit a lever, toggle lever like that, and it's going to fire off this QEV, which is going around the other side. You can see that this line is going back behind this. This is going to go on top of it, into here, and into this firing QEV right there. And that is going to be what actually fires off the dart. So, when will you overview glass construct? I still need to. I just haven't had 2 seconds because I've been casting a bunch of stuff. Yeah. These are all all the colored part, or all the green parts, and then this red part is all modeled off of stuff that I have in real life. This is a Retaliator metal trigger. I've cut it down a little bit. There's a little notch right here. I didn't feel the need to fully design the trigger because that's useless. So there's like different ways you can have a closed bolt design, you can have an open bolt design, you can have a floating barrel, you can have a stationary one, you can do a bunch of different things. It's very opinionated in the HPA community, what's best and what's the worst and blah 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 and whatever. Personally, this is what I like. There's argument of when you pull the trigger, there's a bit of a delay between the bolt closing and then it actually firing. To be honest, it's not that big of a delay and it's not going to bother me in the slightest. So I prefer the open bolt over the complicatedness. There's a lot of drawbacks to the closed bolt as well, and personally I like the drawbacks of this design better. So that's my personal opinion on this. If you don't like it, or most people in here probably don't even know what the heck I'm talking about, but if you don't like it or whatever, that's unfortunate, but this is just going to be the way I'm doing it. So what have I done so far and what do I still need to do? I've done everything you see, which is too much to explain at the moment. However, I just got finished skeletonizing this side of the shell. So as you can see, there is now open space in between everything that isn't necessary. And this wall from here to here is about 5 millimeters. So it's pretty thick, but I'd rather have the bulk than have it too thin. So I'll probably go back and add some support structures, thinner structures, just to make everything a little more rigid. But just to hold everything for now, oh my god, why is it zooming out like that? But just to hold everything for now, I've gotten that, and I still need to do the other side of this. How many hours do you have left in modeling? I don't even want to guess. This is about 200 hours so far, so I want to say I'm halfway done, but I mean that's being optimistic, I think. Hey Nick, what's going on, by the way? So might as well get on to it. Oh, I'm wasting my time. Because I need the other side, duh. I always want to make HP with a floating barrel kind of defeats the only advantage that the long barrel have, which is accuracy. The longer barrel won't give you accuracy. The longer barrel gives you power, and HPA has an excess of power. This is already going to be shooting about 150, or excuse me, 250, and that's more power than I need. And if you want accuracy, then you'd add a scar barrel, which isn't too much of an issue. How's your project going? We're still waiting on... Oh, you're talking to Nick. Just more halfway to begin. Maybe let's see. Delay, but he's still going to kind of... Okay. So what I've done here is I opened this in a completely different program because it was going to be too stressful to deal with, or excuse me, opened it in a new window. Like I saved it, I copied the save, and then I deleted everything else, and that kind of lessened the load on my computer so that I could hollow these out. And I completely got rid of all of the supporting material and everything. As you can see, it's just kind of floating in there now. And then I came back and imported them into this, so now you can see that all I have to do is cut out the parts for the support mechanism, and then I can glue them onto this side, and it should be what I want to do. So there's some interference right here with this thing right here, but we will figure all that out soon enough. So this is going to be kind of stressful because I'm going to have to show the sketches. Oh, and my computer does not like that. Oh, so anything I do in this, I kind of need an anchor point. Oh my god. I kind of need an anchor point, and so I save all of my sketches. Yeah, it's a little stressful on my computer, which is why I usually keep them hidden. I don't like hitting that button. It's gonna take a minute. Oh yeah, this is gonna take a minute. It's not even popping up with the icon. Are you doing Scarborough? Most likely. Am I gonna be able to... I might have to individually do this because it's not popping up with the... There it goes. Let's just go slow here. Oh, you know what? I think I remember what I need to do. It's been a while since I've done this. And then select another one. Ah, there it is. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna hide some of these. These are the ones that I need, but let's see if we can grab the ones that I need. And we'll hide all of the solids. Then we'll take these. Hide them. Can't tell if that was the way it was before. Let's show the rest of these before we... Oh, that was close. That black bar at the bottom was not a good sign. Whoops. So this kind of takes a lot of my attention. So if you guys need to tell me something or you want to say something, go ahead and tag me because it's bright. It's a bright orange. It's a little bit easier for me to see. So I'm probably going to zone out here a little bit. Okay, so now we can modify this just a little bit because it's not the same on both sides, but we have the basic framework for what we're doing. Guess we don't need to touch that. You can see all of the lines there, but that's just for piping, so it can actually be free. We don't actually need to save all of that, so I think we're good there. Do need to save all of this, so oh wait, yeah, we do need to save all of this, so maybe we do need to mess with this. Totally forgot that yellow bar is a thing. Trying to get a parallel line here. Just open that up. How does Chaos Dogma compare to Liam's Bloody Katana? The Bloody Katana is full auto. This is semi-automatic, so they don't really compare. This is more liable to the Red Baron. But the Red Baron has the piston in front of the magazine. This has the piston in behind the magazine, which makes it a lot more compact. Yes, Joe, it crashes a lot. I save this very, very often, which, now that you're reminding me, I should probably save. It's a good idea to save often in this program because it does not do well. Such is life. So I'm not making the wall thicknesses any particular size here, simply because I would be here all day if I was measuring from like here to here, trying to figure out the wall thicknesses and stuff. Which is why I saved this skeleton, so it's going to match the other side. We don't need any of this here. So we'll go in right here and cut out that bit right there. And then like that. Whoops. Almost deleted that. How long will the stream go? I have to leave at 9. Not quite sure. I've been doing this all afternoon, and I was like, oh, I might as well stream this. So, not sure. These things are never planned, Trico. You know that. Curious how much I'll miss. Well, if it's any indication, These things take forever, so. Okay, and I think we're good on there, because that's the same. Good on here. This might have to be modified just a hair, because this switch is actually tilted. So, let's go ahead and save just this little chunk right here. If we can get that freaking things out of our way. Oh my lord. There's so many icons in this. Why are there so many icons? Alright, screw this. Not the best, but it's free. Hey Pete, what's going on? Okay, so let's go over what we've done. What parts we're saving. And I believe we're good to go. So now we're going to take our frame, which is this shorter one right here, and we're going to move this out of the way. We could hide it, but then we would have to unhide everything, and that's just going to be a pain in the ass. So that's 340. Don't forget that. And we're going to come back here and grab our windows here. And then realize that these need to be out of the way. Because otherwise we're going to cut them in half. That would not be good. Let's go ahead and just move these as well, because again, I don't want to need to unhide everything. So that's 400 on that side. Oops, forgot the nut. 400. So anyone who's just now joining, it's a little bit hard for me to keep track of everything going on in the stream chat and do this, because this takes a little bit more of my focus than just sanding or something. I have to keep a constant eye out on it, so if you guys need my attention, just tag me, and I should be able to see that because it's a little bit of a bright orange. So we're going to extrude these right through here, all the way through. And now instead of cutting it out, instead of subtracting, we're going to do intersecting, which means it'll save only the intersecting parts. And you might be thinking, oh my god, you deleted so much. But if you look on this side over here, we've already saved everything else that we need. So we're going to take this, we're going to drag this back. That was 340 millimeters, I believe. So start moving it. Now we're going to do 340. That'll save us a little bit of lag. Hey Ryan, what's going on? Yes, it is. This is Chaos Dogma. And so now we have a little bit more of a skeletonized bit going on here. So now we need to get rid of some of these interfering parts. So let's go ahead and hide these. We don't need these anymore. Clears this up a little bit. Some of these pieces like this overlap. That's no good. So what we're going to do is copy all of these pieces, because we're going to use them to subtract from our piece. So we'll go ahead and Control C, Control V. That's going to copy all of them. We're not going to move them. Then we're going to subtract from here. We're going to subtract all of these. Enter. give that a second to think. Hope it doesn't crash, because I should have saved this before I did this. Okay, now that it's actually done that, we're going to immediately save because I was an idiot. Should not have done something that stressful without saving first. Have you decided which blaster you're rocking at NWAR 2018 Glass Construct won you over full auto, or are you still semi? Still semi-auto. I knew I wasn't really going to like it. It's a fun run and gun, but I'm not really a run and gun type of guy, so now these pieces are all separated. So we can just delete these. And this bar should be separated. There we go. Now we got this little chunk right here, which is kind of interwoven into the rest of it. So we will grab that, move it this way so we can see what we're doing. That was 245. So now we need to figure out what to delete. That's going to delete this part right here because we don't need any of this junk. So if we delete this, that will delete the entire thing. Just kind of scanning over here. We need to get rid of this chunk right here, I believe. Yes, okay. So we'll just kind of go through and delete until things start disappearing. Kind of have to be careful when you do this because deleting something as small as this could destabilize like a huge cone out here, so you kind of have to be careful what you're doing there. But as long as you keep your eye out, it should be fine. Now we can grab this and move this back. That was 245. Okay, so now we have a basic structure going here. And it might look a little bit messy and complicated right now. That should be cut out. Yeah, that's a vent hole, by the way. Now it looks a little bit messy right now and a little confusing, but I promise I know what I'm doing. Sort of. Is this the HPA build? Yep. This is Chaos Dogma. Already my good people go to school can no longer best. Okay, don't forget to keep saving. Yeah, thanks Treatgo for sticking around. You have a good night, man. So we're working on skeletonizing some of this a little bit, which is what we're doing right now. So now that that's skeletonized, and I'm kind of doing some scanning to make sure that I have I'm not leaving anything crucial like this. But I do believe that I can fix that out. I think it's going to be a little easier to fix that after I merge them. So let's go ahead and merge them. We'll select that. Gotta merge it with this, 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 and this. Enter. Well, we'll see. We'll see, Phoenix. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. So now this is all merged together. We're gonna save it because it likes to crash a lot. I believe these are actually loose now that I'm looking at it. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix some of these errors here. Delete that, and it should... Nope. See, this is what I'm talking about, where if you delete the wrong thing, that just wiped out this entire thing. So we're going to undo that. Instead of deleting this wall, we're going to push it through. Whoa. What is that line? My lord. If I delete this, will it delete the whole thing? Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. And then this wall we can just fill in by deleting that, and that should fix all of that. Maybe. One day. Possibly. Yes, there we go. See, the geometry is a little bit messy right here, and I kind of don't like that, but I'm not about to spend my life trying to fix that, so. It likes to crash because they purposely make these programs not as powerful as the ones you pay for, so you have a reason to pay for them. Like how much lag I'm getting right now, it's because of how many polygons there are. In a professional program, you wouldn't have any lag at all. It has nothing to do with my hardware or software or anything. It's just meant to be bad. Okay, so we have a bit of a thin wall right here, like a non-existent wall. So let's go ahead and try to fix this, and it looks like an artifact. So this is what this is what an artifact looks like, where there's very clearly something wrong going on in this area, and this can screw over your entire. See how it's kind of artifacting right there? This can screw over your entire build. If you let enough of these build up, you won't be able to do anything with this entire build. And I know this because I almost lost this entire program to this. So we are going to cut it out completely. We're not going to try to fix it. We're not going to try to meddle with it. Oops. We're just going to cut it out completely. Can you please? There you go. So we'll draw a box, and then we'll simply push it out of existence all the way down past that. Oh, driver crashed again. You've got to be kidding me.